I understand your opinion about salvation and that true believers are those who have, asked God for mercy, and you said that they are in an environment to be saved, but it's up to God to save them. My question is, how do you know that you're in that environment, and how do you know that you're a true believer?
Well, first of all, you know you're a true believer when you find an intense desire in your whole personality to do the will of God. You have received at the moment of salvation a brand new eternal soul in which you will never sin. That is the characteristic of every true believer. Now, that makes an enormous impact on our personality. We still have a body that lusts after sin, but because we are listening just as much to our soul as our body, we don't like it a bit when we sin. In our soul, we don't want to sin. We are troubled immensely if we fall into a sin, because that is still possible. But and the Bible has become a very, very important book to us, so that we tremble before it, recognizing that every word came from the mouth of God and is super important. We never joke about it. We never treat it lightly, and we are thinking constantly about our relationship with God, and that's the characteristic of a true believer. Now,
well, that describes me, and I'm a believer. I put my faith in Jesus, but I'm also a member of the church. In fact, I'm a pastor of a church. And to hear your claims that God has left the church, the Holy Spirit has left the church, and that those who remain in the church are actually members of Satan, or members of the kingdom of Satan, and that true believers are no longer members of this entity called the church. And how can I identify with being saved if you say that no one can know? It's up to God, and it's only up to God to choose to save you. If that's the case.
Well, first of all, the character of a true believer is that we are very, very concerned about doing the will of God. And when we hear that there are very earnest people that are using the Bible and insisting that Satan is ruling there, and that we have been commanded to come out, that should make an enormous impact about someone in a church saying, oh my, I better start studying the Bible really carefully, because I don't want to be in rebellion against God. And then when we begin to hear that in the churches they have a do-it-yourself gospel, where I know I'm saved because I accepted Christ or whatever, or got baptized, well, I better study that really carefully, because this is serious. That's the nature of a true believer. But we have to pause.